I manage to breathe a sigh of relief, but inside my heart, I still feel out of breath. No matter how many pointless apologies I made, no one could possibly have comprehended them, and the feeling of guilt within me never eased up. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, Hamada-san. I didn't know. I never knew she was this lacking in professionalism. I never knew she had become more of an amateur than ever before. I never knew she was so frail that she'd become unable to play, all because of a single guy. The scent of spicy food fills the room. Of course, this is the third day in a row I'm eating curry, so I can't bring myself to get excited about this stimulating fragrance. So, while boiling the mild curry, I start cutting some vegetables I happen to have in the fridge. The light on my rice cooker indicates that it has finished cooking. All that's left is to put it onto a plate. Then, the belated dinner will be finished. As I leave the movements of my hands to muscle memory, and my thoughts about the present decrease, my mind insists on recalling the memories of last night, the Toma residence, after 5 years. Kazusa sitting all alone with her arms around her knees, down in the studio where we have so many memories together. Even though that place wasn't supposed to be where she belonged, that place was all she had left at the time. Compared to the world that knows and wants her, I was in shock about how confined the world she knows and wants is in comparison. She told me her true feelings for the first time since our reunion. She said that she continued having feelings for me these past 5 years. I couldn't bring myself to accept the painful and miserable truth about her feelings, even if they were very elating to me. I already have Setsuna, after all, which is why the only option for us is to break apart. We hurt each other so deeply that day that we couldn't maintain our relationship as neighbors anymore, which was already hanging on a thin thread. No, it's perhaps more accurate to say we were living together. That's why Kazusa's still in this apartment. Wake up already and eat something. Enough pretending to be asleep already. Kazusa's still in this apartment, despite everything that's happened. She hasn't given up on being my neighbor. I guess it's better to say that I was the one who refused to let her go. You didn't even eat lunch, right? Your temperature's down too. I bet you can get up just fine. After all, there's no way I could let her go. She had a fever. Both of her hands are injured. Not to mention the fact that I can't get in touch with Yoko-san. She would never go to the hospital by herself either. So, no matter how little sense this all makes, I have no choice but to do something right now. You can't stay this way forever. This goes not only for your food, but with how you're recuperating from your injury too. Even if that entails the fact that ever since I got home, I've been measuring her temperature with my hands, wiping off her sweat, and gazing intently at her face. Regardless, Kazusa has kept her eyes stubbornly closed, seemingly asleep. Of course I can't speak. Kazusa. I knew from the beginning that she was awake all along, because I could feel Kazusa's gaze every time I turned away from her, painfully so.
I confessed my feelings to you, you know? And got completely rejected, you know?
I haven't rejected, in complete contrast to the cries coming from the innermost depths of her heart back then. The first thing Kazusa says in over a day is little more than a vigorless murmur.
Is having the person who rejected me look after me not anything but torture?
She's desperately trying to prevent any anger or sadness from being infused in her voice. But those involuntary feelings are conveyed clearly through the shaking of her voice.
Don't look at me. Don't look at me with gentle eyes, Haruki. Stop pitying me.
If you don't want me to look after you, then get up. Stand up by yourself and...
Will you go away if I do that? Will you disappear from my sight for all eternity?
If that's what you want.
That's not what I want. I never want that.
Then eat. Let me change your bandage. Let me take care of you.
I don't want that either. I absolutely don't want that right now. Go home. Leave my apartment. I'm begging you. Leave me alone.
But what about food and your medical treatment? I also want to measure your body temperature.
You're annoying. You really are annoying. Give me a break already.
Kazusa. However, her trying to stop her emotions from appearing in her voice was only the beginning. Before long, countless painful feelings seeped into that faint voice, stabbing at me. The thing that was hiding them was Kazusa's kindness. The thing that exposed them was my inability to read the atmosphere. I returned to my room, turned off the light, and put myself under the bed sheets. But that didn't mean I could fall asleep. From what I felt from her forehead, her temperature was down. From what I can judge from treating her hands, her right hand hasn't experienced any separation. And the sprain on her left hand doesn't seem to be too serious either. I'm still a bit nervous about her additional concert in a month from now, but as far as her being able to continue playing the piano is concerned, there should be nothing to worry about, at least as far as her physical health is concerned. As I repeatedly toss and turn in bed, I feel an instinctive desire well up with me apart from the desire to sleep. Dinner. Come to think of it, I didn't eat anything either. I wonder when all that curry is ever going to be fully eaten. But going over to the other apartment now at 3 a.m. to fetch the saucepan would be problematic, both on a personal and a practical level. I curl up into a ball and hold my empty stomach. Then I put the sheet over my head and forcibly close my eyes. Both the curry and our discussion will have to wait until tomorrow. Her apartment wasn't closed with a chain today. She created a situation where only I can enter, since I have a key. That isn't entirely safe from a security standpoint, but right now I'm more happy that she has opened up the door to her heart a little. Good night. So, good night, Kazusa. Tomorrow morning, I'll see if my curry makes a good breakfast or not. So for now, I will make myself comfortable and let my consciousness fade. Huh? It seems I won't get to do that quite yet. This again? It's been an hour since I left Kazusa's room as she was muttering in sadness. And now, before me, as I once again appear in this room, lies a pitiful scene that makes me astonished that this is even the same place. The Curry Princess?
You just had to leave this thing in my room.
Forget curry-stained clothes. Even her hair is covered in thick curry. The pot, the plate, and their contents are all on the floor. The room is filled with the smell of 3-day-old mild curry. It'll take a long time before the smell disappears.
The room smelled like this before I dropped it.
Why would you try to throw all of this away?
As if I do something so wasteful. The room started smelling, so I started to get more and more hungry.
I see. From what I felt from her forehead, her temperature was down, so there would be nothing strange about her appetite returning to her. In fact, that would be a good thing.
That's why I thought about bringing the saucepan to the table.
No, I would have been happier if she understood the state her hands are in.
Why would you make it so thick? You keep saying that everything's fine, but your actions are full of holes.
Fine. Let me clean this up for now. So go ahead and take a bath, wash your body, and change clothes.
How?
Saying that, Kazusa shows me her originally white but now yellowed bandage in a spiteful glare.
That's why I keep saying your words are full of holes.
Hey, are you really sure this is okay?
What are you saying now? It's not a matter if it's okay or not. There is no other choice, is there?
I'm sure I'll catch a glimpse. You won't be able to conceal it all, you know?
It's not like I plan on concealing anything.
That would actually be problematic for me.
Are you that much against seeing me?
It'll be problematic because I do want to.
You already saw all of me 5 years ago. It's too late now.
Hurry up. Even the bathroom will stink of curry soon. Then I'll do it, okay?
Yeah.
I really will do it, okay?
You're being annoying.
I put 3 times as much shampoo as usual in my hands and rub it against the spicy black hair in front of me. Obviously, I can't work on her hair like a hairstylist with my eyes either closed or averted. In other words, Kazusa's white back is right before my...
You can do it a bit more roughly. It's not like you're usually being this considerate.
Fine. Inside the bathroom, where everything we say comes with an echo, the only sound that can be heard is that of my fingers scrubbing against her hair. If someone who knew either of us saw this, they'd certainly faint at the sight. The only thing Kazusa is wearing are the bandages on her hands. And since both her hands are incapable right now, I had to undress her with the exception of her underwear. Kazusa never laughed at me as I desperately tried to close and avert my eyes in the dressing room. But she made sure to make things as difficult for me as possible.
In a sense, This could be my lucky break.
It is?
I hadn't taken a bath in 2 days, so both my hair and my skin were starting to feel sticky.
Your skin. Am I supposed to wash her there, too?
I didn't want you to see me in that gross state. This was just as well.
Now, you listen up. Is that why she never faced me all day? Does that mean that she'll show me everything as long as she looks good? And that she'll even allow me to wash her? Is she more ashamed about having me know that her skin is dirty than she is about having her skin exposed in the first place? And does that mean that in your eyes
It feels good. I was talking about my head. What are you getting flustered about? What are you getting flustered about?
I'm sorry.
You coward. No, perhaps you simply hate me.
Don't be ridiculous.
Yeah, stick with that pressure. Scrub a little bit more.
My fingers are covered in a layer of Kazusa's black hair. They twine around me as if bringing me to her. I know that I'm just overthinking it. I know that I'm making a large leap in logic. And I can't deny the possibility that it's a desire buried deep in my heart.
Hey, Haruki,
What is it?
forget about what I said last night.
Last night.
This moment alone is enough. All you have to do is love me for this moment alone. Embrace me, desire me, whisper sweet words to me.
Far too much happened for me to forget. Not to mention the intensity of what happened.
That was all nonsense. I was being delirious.
I understand that already. Those words were powerful enough for me to remember them for a lifetime. Telling me to forget them in a mere 2 days would be unbearable.
You understand?
Hearing the vague response I made at the end of my anguish,
You don't understand. You don't understand at all.
huh? There's no way Kazusa would overlook it.
I would never lie during a delirium, and I could never make up nonsense during one.
Kazusa. Because she's an idiot who etches every word and every action of mine into her mind.
Don't let my bluff slip by. Don't take it at face value. It makes me want to cry.
Sorry. While murmuring her complaints, Kazusa's voice had already grown tearful. The white shoulders in front of me start to shake, but I'm not allowed to put my hands on them.
I'm annoying, aren't I?
That's not true.
I was rejected. I was discarded. Yet I'm still this reliant on you. I'm so overbearing, aren't I? Enough to make you wish I was dead, right? Being annoying and overbearing is my specialty, isn't it? You're 10 years too early to surpass me in that regard. Don't pick a half-baked number like that. 10 years is nothing at all. You're 100 years too early. That's right. These past 5 years apart might as well not happened. We might actually be able to overcome 10 years with ease. Come on, eat this or something.
After washing Kazusa's hair, I used up more courage and self-restraint than ever before as I washed her body. The smooth curves and sudden changes in elevation I felt through the sponge challenged my restraint a great deal. But I managed to close both my eyes and mind and made it through without an incident. I didn't have enough time or ingredients, so I made some salted onigiri. I'm sure you'll want to complain, but hold back on that. Once we got out of the bath, I had to clean up the disastrous state of the room and deal with the root behind it all. To put it more specifically, cleaning up the floor and preparing a late-night snack for Kazusa. It'll get a bit noisy in there, but hold back your complaints about that too. You don't want to live in a room filled with curry, do you?
Haruki, aren't you hungry?
Leave 2 for me if you can. I'll eat them once I'm done cleaning up. I clean up the pieces of the shattered plate, wipe the curry using a kitchen towel, and then I use a cleaning agent to dry wipe the stains away. When I turn on the ventilation fan and open the window a bit, the whole room is filled with the cold winter air. But right now, there's no choice but to bear with it. You know, if you're hungry, just call for me.
I thought that it'd be fine, since all I had to do was heat it.
Sure, if you hadn't injured both of your hands.
As both the plate and the curry are quickly picked up and wiped away, the floor returns to its usual pretty state.
You're useless even under normal circumstances, so right now you're on par with an infant. You should at least be aware of that.
Don't be so mean.
Waking people up in the middle of the night is what I'd expect of a newborn infant.
It's not like I did it on purpose.
Stop whining and eat already. Aren't you hungry? I wipe it one last time with kitchen paper and spray deodorant around the whole room, which marks the end of my temporary emergency measures. In truth, I want to pull out the vacuum cleaner too, but it's the middle of the night, so I'll have to do that tomorrow. What's the matter? Are you going to tell me that you can't eat this without a side dish? I glance towards Kazusa as I wipe the floor and see that she hasn't eaten a single one of the onigiri on her plate. I want to change your bandage, so I'd appreciate it if you get this over with quickly. And then, as if ignoring my complaints, Kazusa reacts in the usual way, by turning the other direction. I'm sorry for comparing you to an infant. Is that good enough? She's sulking again. Seriously, what a pain. You were hungry enough to spill a whole saucepan of curry, right? Hurry up and eat, and then go to sleep.
I didn't spill it on purpose, and it's not like I don't want to eat.
Then what is it?
I can't eat with these hands.
Can't you just eat it with your left hand? The wrist is the only part that's bandaged there. Whoa. For some reason, that really made her angry.
What are you on about?
What did I say?
Aren't you the one who told me not to use my hands, Haruki? All I'm doing is abiding by that order.
But something as light as onigiri should be...
Either way, I'm not doing it. I can't be careless with my hands of all things. I can't be careless with my hands of all things.
Had you had that mindset last night, I wouldn't need to be so... It seems that made her even angrier. As usual, the intensity of her glare is leagues above anyone else's. Now listen here. Why do you have to be so selfish now of all times? Just earlier you were trying to eat curry all by yourself.
Just earlier, I was trying to eat curry by myself, and that decision ended up being completely unsuccessful.
And her stubbornness is leagues above anyone else's as well. But for the most part, when she picks up that attitude, what is it? Are you telling me you won't eat unless I feed you? Hey, in truth, it's not like she's not angry, but there's a more prominent feeling within her too. That's why she's looking at me with upturned eyes right now.
Didn't you say so yourself? You said I'm on par with an infant with the way I am now.
Kazusa!
You told me to be aware of that. You told me to call you in case anything happened.
No, but I made sure that even you could eat these properly.
That's enough. I'm going to sleep, and I'm going to starve to death.
Kazusa, that's enough messing around. And then her expression shifts to a second, different one. Something's pooling in her upturned eyes.
Say it.
Kazusa.
Tell me to get it together. Tell me that you can't be bothered to watch over me anymore.
And immediately afterward, she lets out her third expression. And what was pooling in her eyes is now falling to the floor. It's staining the floor that I just cleaned.
Tell me you're going to abandon me. Say it right to my face. Just like what you did last night.
When things come to this, I have no way of fighting back. Would you like some tea?
Just a sip.
All right. In the right hand is a half-eaten onigiri. In the left hand is a half-empty cup of tea. And those hands, of course, belong to me.
One more?
I'm hungry too, you know.
Then go ahead and eat. I never told you to give me everything.
That's true, but...
One more.
Fine already. With my hands occupied like this, I can't eat my own portion. But nothing can be done about that. I have no choice but to become Kazusa's hands, for now. Is it good?
It's salty. Are you trying to kill me with high blood pressure?
High blood pressure isn't a direct cause of death. If you're going to berate me correctly, then name the diseases that come from high blood pressure, such as cerebral hemorrhage and heart attacks. Her whining is too predictable.
Your sophistry is so predictable. You're such a bore.
Sorry about that. Everything about this is so predictable that my heart can't endure it.
On top of being a bore, you're an idiot. A massive idiot. You're still giving food to the dog you abandoned.
Kazusa.
If you do that, I'll inadvertently start liking you more. What are you thinking, you?
I wonder if the salty taste is caused by the salt alone. But you said you weren't able to eat.
It's only natural for a dog to open its mouth. The owner has to discipline it, doesn't he?
Don't be ridiculous. You've never been my pet, and you've never been mine, not even once. If I tell her of those feelings within me, I'm sure they'll be outdone by Kazusa's much more powerful feelings.
More?
Here.
Oh.
That's why I can only distract her by passing the time in a peaceful way right now, without any conclusions, without any resolve, still loving her, and still unable to love her.
Oh, Haruki.
Want another one?
Yeah.
That's why, right now, I grab the last onigiri just as Kazusa urges me to, so that we can divide it and eat it together, just like the last one disappeared into my mouth, just like the last one that disappeared into my mouth. It's been a while. Actually, it hasn't been that long for me to write that, but I get the feeling that it's been a long time since I last talked to Setsuna like this. I'm sorry, the situation right now is terrible. I didn't make it in time for the concert. I managed to meet Kazusa last night, but obviously she didn't forgive me. I had a fight with Kazusa. Thanks to that, Kazusa hurt her hand. The injury itself isn't anything big. She'll make it in time for the additional concert, but she'll be unable to do anything by herself for a while. That's why I'm next to Kazusa right now. I'm taking care of her. She hurt herself because of me, and we're still working with each other. This is both my duty and my responsibility. What am I saying? I'm astonished at what I've written and how it shows how I'm trying to run away. The details are far too lacking, and I've only bothered to write about how I don't want to talk to Setsuna. Setsuna can obviously see through all my excuses. I'm sorry for worrying you up until now, and I'm sorry for all the worries I'll be causing you from now on. She knows that Kazusa didn't forgive me. She also knows that Kazusa hasn't given up on me. But right now, giving Kazusa peace of mind and talking to her is my top priority. Setsuna knows that time didn't solve anything. She knows that everything turned out exactly how she expected it to. Because I promised you, Setsuna, that pain isn't the only thing I'm dealing with, but that I'm also feeling comfortable with Kazusa. I'll send you a text tomorrow. Good night. I won't look forward to a reply, because if what Setsuna said is true, she won't send me anything. It's not that she's angry. It's not like she doesn't feel betrayed. But there's one thing I can't keep on doing anymore. I can't hide any further betrayals. I can't hide the fact that my heart's wavering. I can't tell her about my feelings honestly, but I don't want to say nothing to her either. I want Setsuna to see through me. I want her to doubt me, because I went to see Setsuna. Good night. Good night, Setsuna. And good night, Kazusa. Even if I fall asleep now, I won't get any more than an hour's worth of sleep. But I'll sleep anyway. After all, I finally feel like I can fall asleep now. Because by being with Kazusa, my heart was put at ease. January 31st, Thursday. Can't anything be done? Can you not even call her?
No, like I said, I can't answer what I don't know just because you keep asking.
It's almost been a week since the concert. Ever since that day, I've been unable to find anyone who can tell me where Tomo Yoko is. No matter how dependable the source is. Not even her own company. I promise I won't cause any trouble. if you tell your company president that I'm Kidahara from Kaiosha, I'm sure she'll have no issue.
Listen here, Kazahara-san. I've already gone over this with you countless times. I've been made plenty aware that you're someone trustworthy.
Oh, thank you very much.
However, not even I can get in touch with Toma at the moment. I'm in a real bind, as embarrassing as it is to admit.
I see. Judging from what this employee is saying, something like this would concern the survival of the very company. But I can't sense any nervousness from her tone. That's why I'm not sure if her answer is true, or if it's some organized plan they're all in on.
Yes, I'm truly sorry, but that's how it is.
Seriously, where is Yoko-san? Is she aware of the state her precious daughter is in? Or how much she needs her mother right now? Or perhaps she thinks that everything will be fine as long as she leaves everything to me. Does she still have that kind of careless attitude? Even when the situation has changed so drastically? I understand. That's a shame.
I'm sorry for not being able to help.
No, it's not your fault. Kazusa-san wanted me to tell you that she'd love to see her mother, but I suppose that's impossible. That's a shame, really. I hope to get through this without resorting to dirty tactics.
Wait a second.
Well then, if you'll excuse me, if you ever do get a call from your company president, direct her to Kidahara for me.
Wait a second. No, don't hang up. Please wait.
But I wouldn't want to bother you any further.
No, I have a question for you this time.
Could it be about the article inspection at Ensemble? In that case, you can do so at the end of the week.
You get in contact with Toma Kazusa from our company? When?
Is there some problem with me contacting her directly? But when I first met her, she said...
No, that's not what I meant. Do you know where she is?
Huh? That's strange. I swear she just came back to her residence.
Where is she staying? Is she alright? How are her injuries?
How come you don't know that? I thought you were in contact with her. Or am I wrong?
About that.
About what? While they're perfectly willing to acknowledge that Toma Yoko is missing, they're reacting differently to the more significant disappearance of Toma Kazusa.
You see, Kidahara-san, the truth is, I'm in a bind.
Yeah, I'm in a bind too. In other words, their lackluster reaction towards the other missing person, Tomo Yoko, suggests...
If you get to contact our company president, we get to contact Toma Kazusa. Am I getting that right?
I appreciate your tactful response. I feel like a kidnapper.
I heard, Kidahara-kun! Apparently you're doing the special issue for Ensemble?
After finishing a task that may or may not be related to my actual work, I am greeted by an onlooker by the name of Suzuki-san, who was waiting for me to finish my call. The ones making it are the professionals at the editing department. I'm more or less just helping out.
But from what I heard, you're making it all by yourself.
You're writing the articles, taking the pictures, compiling it, printing it, and selling it. Do you take me for someone who's self-employed? However, I can't say that I don't feel somewhat unsettled by the fact that I'm in charge over half of the project. This certainly is outside the normal process of a major publisher. More like an idea a minor publisher would come up with. The workload will be high, that's all. The professionals at the editing department will follow up on the basics, and the chief editor will supervise the whole thing. But still, you know what this means? What does...
You're in your first year, yet your name will appear first on the end credits.
No one pays attention to that part.
What are you talking about? Machan's in a state of shock. He's in his third year, yet he's never risen above third place, you know?
You've never risen above second place either, have you, Suzuki-san? Please don't rub it in right in front of him.
But I'd be talking behind his back if he's not around. I hate people who do that.
That doesn't mean that I enjoy having you bully me when I'm right in front of you. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Kazusa is being a bit childish. She is trying to go it alone when she obviously can't, due to her injuries. Granted, I get why she doesn't want help from the guy who just dumped her, but she should at least talk to her mother, or the company. They could arrange help for her.